Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt there was a whole story hiding behind them? Maybe you walked into a room and instantly sensed that something was off, but you couldn't explain why. Or maybe you believed someone's words, only to realize later that their actions were screaming a different truth. Life becomes easier, safer, and far more powerful when you learn the art of observing people. In today's world, this is not just a skill, it's a kind of superpower. If you want to protect yourself, understand others more deeply, and level up in every area of your life, this lesson is for you. Let's walk together step by step into the quiet power of truly observing anyone. First, let's talk about why observation is a superpower. Most people move through the world with open eyes, but a sleeping mind. They see, but they don't really notice. They look, but they don't truly understand. Every day you pass dozens, maybe hundreds of people on the street, in the office, at school, on the bus or train. You see their faces, their clothes, the way they move. But how many do you truly notice? How many do you truly understand, even a little bit? For most people, the answer is not many. That's because observation is not just about what the eyes can see. It's about what the mind can catch and the heart can feel. People are like books. Some are short stories, simple and straightforward. Some are thick novels full of twists and hidden chapters. Some are open, easy to read. Others are written in a language you don't yet understand. But what do most people do? They glance at the cover and decide they know the whole story. He's smart. She's rude. He's funny. She's not friendly. These are not observations. These are snap judgments based on a few seconds, a single sentence, one action taken out of context. That isn't wisdom. That's guesswork. True observation is different. When you observe, you slow down inside. You listen not just with your ears, but with your attention. You stop jumping to conclusions. You pay attention to small things, how someone's voice softens when they talk about something painful, how their shoulders tense when they feel uncomfortable, how their eyes light up when they talk about something they love. You begin to notice the way they avoid certain topics, the words they repeat without realizing it, the way they sit when they're relaxed versus when they are guarded. Over time, these little details turn into patterns. Those patterns begin to tell you the truth. This skill shapes your entire life. In your relationships, observation helps you see what your partner, your friend, or your family member is really feeling, even when they pretend everything is okay. At work, it helps you understand your boss, your coworkers, your clients. You begin to sense who is honest, who is insecure, who is hiding something, who is quietly struggling. When you observe well, you can step out of many unnecessary conflicts. You choose more wisely whom to trust. You become more persuasive because you understand what people actually care about, not just what they claim. Observation also protects you. It shows you early warning signs, the person who never looks you in the eye when they're making promises, the friend who always changes the subject when responsibility appears, the colleague who smiles in front of you but tightens their jaw whenever your name is mentioned. These details are not random. They are signals. They help you protect your heart, your time, your energy. But observation is not just about others. It's also about you. When you begin to observe your own thoughts, reactions, gestures, and habits, something powerful happens. You grow. You become self-aware. And self-awareness is the doorway to every real change in your life. When you honestly observe yourself, your triggers, your fears, your repeated mistakes, you stop living on autopilot. You begin to make conscious choices instead of emotional reactions. The most important thing to remember is this: observation is not the same as judging. Judging is fast. Observation is slow. Judging is shallow. Observation is deep. When you judge, your mind closes. When you observe, it opens. Judging builds distance. Observation builds understanding. And understanding builds connection, empathy, and wisdom. In a world that moves fast, where everyone is scrolling, reacting, posting, and rushing, the person who truly observes stands out. That person becomes calmer, stronger, wiser. That person avoids many silent traps and builds better relationships. That person becomes someone others trust, respect, and quietly look up to. So train yourself to observe. Practice every single day. Don't just look, notice. Don't just hear, listen. Don't just speak, reflect. And by the way, if this kind of lesson is helping you, take a second to support the channel. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next deep lesson. It's a small action, but it tells the algorithm. This is valuable. Show it to more people. Now let's go deeper. The second step, start with curiosity, not judgment. Most people walk through life as if they are judges in a courtroom. They watch one moment, hear one sentence, see one reaction, and immediately declare a verdict. He's lazy. She's selfish. That person is weird. These labels are often built on almost nothing: a bad day, a tense moment, a tired tone. Yet, once we label someone, we stop seeing them clearly. We stop learning who they really are. Curiosity is the opposite. Curiosity is the mindset of a quiet scientist of human nature. Instead of rushing to a conclusion, you pause and ask yourself gentle questions. Instead of, "He's rude," you think, "Why is he acting like that today? Is he tired? Is he under pressure? Is he carrying something heavy that I cannot see?" Instead of, "She's unfriendly," you wonder, "Is she shy? Is she protecting herself? Does she feel unsafe or judged right now?" This simple shift from judging to wondering changes everything. Judging shuts your eyes. Curiosity opens them. When you judge, you think, "I already know who this person is." When you are curious, you realize, "There is so much I don't know yet." Curiosity keeps you observing. It keeps you listening. It keeps you learning. And people can feel it. People can feel when they are being judged. They become defensive, close, careful. But they can also feel when someone is genuinely curious, when someone wants to understand instead of attack. That kind of energy makes people open up. They show you their real selves, their true thoughts, their hidden pain, their secret dreams. Curiosity also makes you emotionally stronger. When you are curious, you react less. If someone is cold to you, instead of instantly feeling hurt or angry, there's a small gap inside you where you think, "What made them respond this way? Is this really about me or about them?" That gap between reaction and reflection is where your power lives. It's where wisdom grows. Many relationships break down because people judge too fast and ask too few questions. Friendships end. Trust is destroyed. Families drift apart. Not because of one action, but because no one stopped to say, "Wait, what's really going on here?" Curiosity doesn't mean you ignore bad behavior or accept disrespect. It doesn't mean you allow people to walk all over you. It simply means you observe first, understand as much as you can, and then decide. You give space for truth to reveal itself before you act. From this moment onward, train your mind to ask better questions. Stop labeling people quickly. Don't build a whole story in your head from one small scene. Stay curious. Be interested. Remember, every person is carrying a story you haven't heard yet. The more curious you are, the more clearly you will see those stories. Judging closes your mind. Curiosity opens your heart. And when your heart is open, your observation becomes deeper, kinder, and infinitely more accurate. Third, watch their body, not just their words. Words are easy to control. People can say "I'm fine" while breaking inside. They can say, I agree while feeling deeply uncomfortable. They can say, I'm happy for you while secretly feeling jealous or threatened. This doesn't always mean they are bad people. Often it means they are afraid of conflict, afraid of being vulnerable, afraid of being judged. So they use words as a mask. But the body is different. The body doesn't know how to lie for long. It speaks its own language. And if you learn to read that language, you'll understand people on a level most never reach. Notice what happens when someone talks. Do their shoulders relax or tighten? Does their chest open or close? Do they lean in or do they subtly lean away? Do their hands move freely or do they clamp together hiding? If someone says, I'm okay, but their shoulders are raised, their jaw is tight, their voice is flat, and their eyes slide away from yours, their body is whispering, I'm not. Crossed arms might suggest defensiveness or discomfort. Leaning forward often shows interest and engagement. Looking away repeatedly when answering a question can suggest nervousness or hesitation. Tapping fingers, shaking feet, constant fidgeting often signals anxiety or agitation. And then there is mirroring. When someone unconsciously mirrors your movements, sipping their drink after you sip yours, adjusting their posture. When you smile, this is often a sign of connection and trust. Their body is saying, I feel safe with you, even if they haven't said it out loud. But here is a crucial point. Never ever judge someone based on a single movement. One gesture, one look, one posture is just a moment, not a map. Maybe they crossed their arms because they're cold. Maybe they looked away because they were thinking. Maybe they fidgeted because they drank too much coffee. A wise observer looks for patterns, not isolated signals. You watch how they behave over time in different situations. You notice what happens when certain topics come up or certain people enter the room. When the same signals repeat, that's when you can start to trust what you're seeing. You don't need a degree in psychology to do this. You just need patience, stillness, and attention. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You'll begin to notice subtle changes in posture, tone, and movement that you never saw before. Some studies say that most of our communication is nonverbal. Whether that exact percentage is correct or not, one thing is obvious. People tell you far more with their body than with their words. Once you understand that, you begin to listen with your eyes as much as with your ears. Train yourself to see beyond language. Watch how people sit, walk, gesture, and breathe. Notice when their body and words match and when they don't. When the two disagree, believe the body first. The mouth can be trained to speak in polite lies. The body struggles to hide the truth for long. Fourth, listen more than you talk. There is a secret that can change your relationships, your career, and your entire life. The more you truly listen, the more people reveal themselves. Most people don't actually listen. They wait. They wait for their turn to speak, to argue, to defend, to give advice, to share their own story. While the other person is talking, their mind is already drafting its reply. So they miss subtle emotions, contradictions, and hints in the other person's words. If you want to be a great observer, you must learn the art of deep listening. Deep listening means your attention is not on yourself, but completely on the other person. You notice not just what they say, but how they say it. You listen to the tone, the rhythm, the speed, the volume. These things carry emotional information that the words alone cannot show. A tense or shaky voice might signal fear, guilt, or anxiety. A slow, heavy voice might signal sadness or exhaustion. A sudden rise in volume can show pressure, defensiveness, or excitement. Changes in speed, rushing, pausing, stumbling can reveal uncertainty, confusion, or inner conflict. And then there is silence. Silence is one of the loudest sounds in any conversation. When someone goes quiet after a certain question, when they avoid a certain topic, when they laugh everything off, but never actually answer. that silence is a message. It might be carrying pain, fear, shame, or a secret that's not ready to be spoken. Over time, you'll notice how stories change or how they stay the same. People who are not being honest often over-explain. They add too many details to sound believable. They might avoid answering directly, or small pieces of their story might not match later. You don't need to call them out. You don't need to confront them every time. Just observe. Let people's words and silences paint a picture over time. One powerful technique is simply this. After someone finishes talking, don't rush to speak. Stay quiet for a moment. Let the silence sit. Most people feel uncomfortable with silence and will start talking again to fill the gap. That second wave of words is often more honest and unfiltered than the first. They might reveal an extra detail, a deeper feeling, or something they were trying to hold back. Listening deeply is not just a tool to understand others. It's also a way to build trust. When someone feels truly heard without interruption, without judgment, without constant advice, they feel safe. They feel respected. They feel seen. And when people feel safe with you, they slowly remove their masks. Observation becomes easier. You no longer have to work so hard to see the truth. The truth will start walking toward you. So remember this rule: talk less, listen more. You don't need to prove how smart you are with big speeches. Wisdom is not always loud. Sometimes it's just the quiet person in the room who listens so deeply that everyone else feels understood. Fifth, observe reactions, not just actions. Actions matter. What people do shows you their habits, their choices, their priorities. But if you want to see into someone's inner world, reactions are even more powerful. Actions can be planned, polished, rehearsed. Reactions are raw. They are the immediate, unfiltered emotional responses that slip out before the mind can put a mask back on. When you ask someone a question, and for a split second their face hardens, or their eyes widen, or their body stiffens, that instant is pure truth. Even if they quickly recover and smile, the reaction has already spoken. Watch how people react to criticism. Do they get angry, defensive, or do they instantly play the victim? Do they listen, ask questions, and genuinely consider the feedback? A person who cannot handle any criticism often carries deep insecurity. Someone who can listen calmly usually has a stronger core. Watch how they react to praise. Do they accept it with a simple, sincere thank you? Do they shrink away, clearly uncomfortable, because they don't believe good things about themselves? Or do they become arrogant and hungry for more praise because their sense of worth depends on it? Pay attention to how they react to silence. In a quiet moment, some people become restless, anxious, talkative, desperate to fill the air. Others remain calm, peaceful, relaxed. Silence exposes what is inside. Rejection is another powerful mirror. When someone doesn't get what they want, do they insult, punish, or try to manipulate? Or do they step back gracefully, respecting your boundary even if they're disappointed? Surprise also reveals truth. When something unexpected happens, a sudden piece of news, an unplanned question, an accident, people often forget to act. Their true feelings rush to the surface for a moment. Fear, guilt, shame, excitement, it all passes across their face before they remember to control it. You also see deep truths when you gently touch on topics like family, childhood, or past relationships. You don't need to pry or be invasive. Even a simple mention can trigger a noticeable reaction. Does their body close off? Does their tone suddenly change? Do they become distant or overly cheerful to hide discomfort? None of this is about playing detective to catch people. It's about understanding them. Reactions are windows into old wounds, fears, hopes, and values. To notice these things, you must be present. You can't be lost in your phone or in your own thoughts. You must watch, listen, and let the moment unfold. Remember this. It's not only what people do, it's what triggers them that reveals who they are. Triggers are like hidden doors. When you see what makes someone tense, angry, insecure, or deeply joyful, you are looking straight into their story. So observe calmly. Don't hunt for reactions. Just be aware. Let people show you who they are over time. You don't have to force anything. Truth appears whenever life presses on a sensitive place. Sixth, notice how they treat powerless people. If you want to see someone's true character, look beyond how they treat you, especially if they want something from you. Instead, watch how they treat people who can do nothing for them. The waiter at the restaurant, the cleaner in the building, the delivery driver, the receptionist, the security guard. These people often hold no social power in that moment. They are serving, helping, doing their job. Many are used to being ignored, rushed, or disrespected. A truly kind person doesn't switch their kindness on and off depending on who is watching or what they can gain. They say thank you to the janitor. They smile at the cleaner. They treat the receptionist with warmth. They look the delivery person in the eye and speak with basic human respect. These are small actions, but they say everything. They tell you that this person sees human beings, not just roles. Their values are not based on social rank or benefit. Their kindness is who they are, not a performance. On the other hand, some people are only kind upward. They are charming to the boss, polite to the important client, overly sweet to someone who has money, status, or influence. But the moment they deal with someone they see as below them, their mask slips. Their tone turns sharp. Their patience disappears. They act as if the other person is invisible or unworthy. This is not kindness. This is strategy. This is manipulation dressed up as good manners. In relationships, business, and friendships, this behavior is a bright red flag. If someone treats you well, but regularly disrespects others, be careful. The pattern is there. The only reason you are safe for now is because you are useful to them. The day they no longer need you, you might feel the same coldness you've watched them aim at others. True character is revealed in moments when people think no one important is watching. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to lecture them. Just observe. Let time show you who they are. People always reveal themselves in small, seemingly unimportant situations. Over time, those moments form a clear image. Keep the people who treat everyone with basic dignity. Those are the ones whose hearts are steady, whose values are real. In a world full of performance, real kindness, quiet, consistent, and not based on reward is rare and beautiful. That's the kind of person you want close to you and the kind of person you want to become. Seventh, patterns reveal the truth. One of the biggest mistakes people make is obsessing over single moments. One day, he forgot to call. One time, she raised her voice. One conversation felt strange. It's easy to spin stories around these isolated events. But a single action is often just that, a single action. People are human. They get tired, stressed, distracted. Sometimes they say the wrong thing or make a bad decision. That doesn't automatically define who they are. What defines people is what they do again and again. That's what we call a pattern. Lying once could be fear or panic. Lying repeatedly becomes a pattern. That pattern tells you this person is comfortable with dishonesty. Canceling once could be life happening. Canceling every time with weak excuses becomes a pattern that tells you exactly where you rank on their list of priorities. This is where many people get hurt. They want to believe the best in others, so they explain away bad patterns. He didn't mean it. She's just going through something. It's not that serious. One mistake is forgivable. A repeated pattern is information. If someone apologizes but never changes the pattern, is telling you the truth. The apology is just a reset button, not a real transformation. If someone promises to be there but consistently disappears when you need them, their pattern is more honest than their words. Imagine watching a movie. If the same scene keeps happening over and over, you don't ignore it. You think, this is who this character really is. Life is the same. So step back and watch the movie of people's behavior. What scenes keep repeating? Which actions show up again and again, regardless of the situation or excuses? That repetition is your answer. This is hard to accept in relationships because of emotional attachment. We cling to a few good memories and close our eyes to constant disappointment. We hold on to potential instead of reality. But your peace depends on respecting patterns more than promises. If someone's pattern is to lie, to disappear, to belittle you, or to make you feel small, that is not love. That is harm. Love does not need perfection, but it does need effort, growth, and consistency. Observation here is not harsh judgment. It is simply trusting what you see. It is choosing not to betray yourself by ignoring repeated pain. When you begin to honor patterns, you stop being confused by isolated moments. Your decisions become clearer. Your boundaries become stronger. You stop asking, but what if they change, and start asking, what are they showing me over and over right now? 8th, pay attention to energy shifts. There is something you cannot see with your eyes, but you can feel with your entire being. Energy. Have you ever walked into a room and felt tension immediately, even though everyone was smiling? Have you met someone who seemed perfectly polite, yet your chest felt tight around them? Or sat beside someone whose presence alone made you feel calm and safe, even before they said a word? That's energy, emotional energy. People can fake words, they can fake smiles, they can fake politeness. But it's very hard to fake the energy they carry for long. Some people carry heavy negative energy. Being around them drains you. You may feel tired, anxious, or oddly sad after just a short interaction. Others carry chaotic, unpredictable energy, one moment warm, the next moment cold. You never know which version of them you'll get. You end up walking on eggshells, trying not to trigger anything. Then there are people who carry calm, grounded, uplifting energy. You feel more like yourself when you're near them. Your breathing slows. Your body relaxes. You feel seen, not judged. It's like your nervous system says, I am safe here. To observe energy, you must tune into your own body and emotions. They are your radar. Ask yourself, how do I feel after spending time with this person? Do I feel smaller or stronger? Do I feel anxious or peaceful? Do I feel fake around them or free to be myself? If someone's words are kind, but your body feels uneasy, pay attention to that. Your inner world may be picking up on something. Their outer behavior is hiding anger, resentment, jealousy, dishonesty. Don't dismiss your feelings as overthinking or being too sensitive. Sensitivity is not weakness, it's information. It's one of the most powerful tools in observation when combined with logic and patterns. This doesn't mean you instantly cut people off just because their energy feels off one day. It means you notice. You track how you feel over time. You observe patterns in energy just like you observe patterns in behavior. In your relationships, your job, your social life, energy is a compass. If you consistently feel anxious, unworthy, or tense in a certain environment, listen to that signal. Something about that place or person is not aligned with your well-being. On the other hand, when you find people and spaces that make you feel grounded, alive, and at peace, cherish them. That is not an accident. It's alignment. Energy may be invisible, but its effects are not. Once you start paying attention, you realize this might be one of the most honest layers of human observation. Ninth, observe yourself first. This might be the most powerful step of all. You can spend years studying other people, but if you never observe yourself, your vision will always be distorted. Think of it this way. If your own glasses are dirty, it doesn't matter how carefully you look, you still won't see clearly. Self-observation means becoming a student of your own mind, heart, and behavior. And it means asking yourself hard questions. Why did I react so strongly just now? Why does this particular situation always make me insecure? Why do I chase certain people and ignore others? Why do I shut down when someone gets close? Your reactions are not random. They are shaped by your past, by your experiences, your wounds, your fears, your beliefs. Maybe you had a friend who betrayed you, so now you see betrayal hiding in every quiet moment. Maybe you grew up in a home where love felt unstable, so now you panic whenever someone takes longer to reply. Maybe you were criticized a lot, so now even gentle feedback feels like an attack. If you don't observe these patterns in yourself, you'll keep projecting your past onto your present. You'll misread people not because they are bad, but because your wounds are loud. You'll call someone cold when they're just tired. You'll call someone selfish when they simply set a boundary that your past never prepared you for. Self-observation gives you the power to step back and say, wait, is this really about them or about me? It doesn't mean you blame yourself for everything. It means you take responsibility for your inner world. You stop letting old pain drive your current decisions. Self-observation also reveals your biases, the silent beliefs you carry about certain types of people. Maybe you believe all rich people are arrogant, all quiet people are weak, or all confident people are fake. These beliefs are not facts. They are filters. When you observe yourself honestly, you begin to question those filters. Where did I learn this? Is it actually true? That's how you clean your mental lens. The more you understand your own emotions, triggers, and patterns, the more compassion you develop for yourself and for others. You stop expecting perfection. You realize everyone is carrying something invisible. Everyone is doing their best with the tools they have. And when you understand that, your observation becomes gentler, wiser, and more accurate. You no longer observe to judge or to control. You observe to understand, to protect your peace, and to choose your path with clarity. Final words become the silent student. The world is noisy. Everyone wants to talk, to argue, to post, to be heard first. But true power, real, quiet, unshakable power, often belongs to the one who listens, the one who watches, the one who learns. The silent student. The silent student is not weak. They are not passive. They are training. They are sharpening their awareness in a way most people never do. They don't need to prove they are the smartest in the room. They let the room teach them. Most people speak without thinking. They react without understanding. They live on the surface of life, missing the deeper truths sitting quietly in front of them. You are choosing something different. You are choosing to be curious instead of judgmental, to watch instead of rush, to listen instead of always needing to reply, to reflect instead of exploding. Being a silent student doesn't mean you never talk. It means when you do, your words come from a place of understanding, not from impulse. It means your actions are guided by insight, not just emotion. So remember these keys. Stay curious. Ask Ryan silently in your mind. Look beyond the surface of people's behavior. Watch quietly. Notice how people move, speak, react, and treat others, especially those with no power. Listen deeply. Hear the words, but also the tone, the rhythm, the silence in between. Reflect before you react. Give yourself a moment to breathe and think. Ask what is really happening inside them and inside you. Learn from everyone. The kind ones teach you what to follow. The cruel ones teach you what to avoid. The confusing ones teach you about your own boundaries and needs. And most of all, trust the process. Observation is a skill. The more you practice, the sharper it becomes. One day you'll look back and realize you see people more clearly. You choose relationships more wisely, and you walk through life with more peace and less confusion. If this message is speaking to you, don't let it end here. Take a second to support this journey, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. When you do that, you're not just helping this channel grow, you're helping more people learn how to protect their heart, build better relationships, and live with wisdom. Be the silent student in a loud world. Stay curious. Watch quietly. Listen deeply. Don't rush. Reflect. Learn from everyone. And trust yourself. Because when you master the art of observing yourself and others, you don't just understand people. You understand life.